Welcome to Undercomplicating Stuff, where we, two psychologists and coaches with over 40 years of combined experience, share our insights to help undercomplicate important topics. Friendly reminder that this video is meant for conversational and entertainment purposes only. Please see the information section of this video for additional resources. Stacey, do an introduction.
Thanks, Julie. I'm Stacey Gedeon. I'm a health psychologist and the founder and CEO of a healthcare consulting and professional coaching business. And how about you, Dr. Radico?
I'm a psychologist, a coach, an author, and a speaker. And our question today is, how can I create intentional goals?
I think so much of the time we're just going, 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 going. And maybe if we're lucky, when it becomes the end of the year and we're thinking of the bringing in the new year, we might think, oh, what do I want to accomplish? But what we're talking about is being very intentional with where you want your life to go. So starting from where you are now, and this could be personally, professionally, health-wise, whatever's important to you. What we're talking about is being very intentional of your end goal and then almost reverse engineering it. And so if you have a goal, let's say in 5 years to have advanced in your career to a certain level, what we're suggesting you do is work backwards. What would you need to do in 4 years? What needs to happen in three, and so on and so on. So it gives you that starting point. And so many people don't take the time to sit down and think, where's my life going? Where do I want it to go? And how do I get there?
Taking the time to ask yourself, where am I now? Where do I want to be? What problems do I want to solve? How do I want to grow? And exactly like you're saying, Stacey, saying, okay, so then me in 5 years, me in 10 years, she would look like X, or she would be able to do Y, or she would know Z. And being able to then go, okay, well, so what do I need to do to work backwards to get there? We're all encouraged to be saving for retirement, right? That's like the ultimate long-term goal of, okay, well, how much money do you think you need to retire with? And then what can you start to do now to help? But sometimes it's, thinking, well, okay, well, I would need to have done this or paid off that or to consider doing this or like you're working your way back to, okay, so that means today looking into X or investing Y or saving Z. And I think that's just such a creative, practical way for people to think about goal setting. Once you figured out, well, what do I want to set a goal around? Goal setting is not a one and done kind of thing. I think it's so important that you highlight it's not, okay, well, I've set goals for the year and now I'm done. It's like, oh no, no, goals are like an active, living, breathing kind of thing that sometimes once we set a goal and we try to work on it for 2 weeks and then we realize mid-January, oh, that wasn't the right goal or that wasn't doable. That wasn't a smart goal, or even though it was, it didn't fit for me. And sometimes we learn that, yeah, it's just not the right goal, or there's maybe like seven goals that have to come before I could work toward that goal. And then there's some times where it's like, oh, we think it's just I set the goal and now I'm done. And our brains sort of like click off of it. And that is when it's like, no, be kinder to yourself. And goals are a continual conversation. And the way I think about them and talk about them with like my coaching clients, with therapy clients, is they're hypotheses. So you might come into a situation thinking about like, yes, I want to run this many miles next year. I want to build this for myself. I want to spend this much time with the loved ones. You can make goals around any aspect of your life. And if you are saying, I definitely have to do this, and this is the way it's going to have to happen, it like you can set yourself up to really like feel like it's too much, it's too hard, it's too unattainable. But if you instead put on your scientist hat and go, huh, I hypothesize that if maybe I tried doing this, this, and this, that might help me be able to reach that goal, like spend more time with family, spend, time running more, whatever it might be. So if it didn't work out, then you wouldn't just give up. Like a scientist doesn't give up on trying to figure out the question that they're trying to answer. They say, ah, I need a new approach. Or maybe I need new formulas, or I need new beakers, or, like we could continue this analogy. But so go back and make a new hypothesis. Okay, well, maybe if I did this, and that, I might be able to get where I need to be. And maybe it's something that's going to take more time or more patience or smaller steps. But really thinking about it as, where do I want to be in the long term? Because this is important to me. It's a problem I'm trying to solve. But also, I'm going to do lots of experiments along the way with hypotheses to get me to what's going to work to actually move me on the right path.
It's really important to be flexible, and life happens and things may have to change a bit, or you may not have access to a certain piece of your plan that you need to engage in. And so you have to find a different plan and not throwing everything out, like you said, if it doesn't go exactly to how you want it to go. There are other ways around it, and there are supports for you. You and I coach people through visioning exercises all of the time. And it's really unique for people to sit down with someone who will hold them accountable and think about, where do I want to be? What will my life look like? What will I be doing? So even helping people with things like, well, I want this position at work. Okay, well, where will you be sitting? What will you be doing? What will the organization look like? What will you do day to day? When do you wake up? But as specific as you can get about your end goal, then that helps you with all those steps beforehand. So I really like that you brought that up of trying things out, shifting if you need to. And I think also having an accountability partner is critical. A cheerleader, somebody in your life who will not scold you, but will check in a supportive way to see how you're doing, see how they can help you, and really be a source of support and encouragement.
I think it's important also to be really thoughtful about who you pick as an accountability partner. It could be a professional like Stacey and I. It could be somebody who is really dedicated or is motivated in the same ways that you are. It could be somebody who is struggling to find motivation, and that's okay. Just really being thoughtful about that you want to come up with game plans of, if you both don't feel like working on whatever it might be, that what do you do in those situations so that you don't lose all of your momentum. So being really thoughtful about keeping an accountability partner who is going to keep you accountable. SMART goals come to mind. So, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-focused goals. So you want, when you're coming up with your hypotheses, when you're coming up with what your goal might look like, you want to really map it out in a way that is doable, is realistic, and is really relevant to like what you want to focus on.
SMART goals, it's so important and it makes things well, achievable, because it is something that you're able to do and it's not completely out there. And it's important though, even with a SMART goal, let's say if everything's set up and it looks good and you have an accountability partner and some time passes, it's still helpful to check, for lack of a better word, the alignment. Is this still in the direction that I want to be going? If we're talking about longer term goals, let's say it's a career that you're thinking of doing and you're going to get some education, and perhaps halfway through you find out, ooh, this is not really what I wanted to do. Checking that alignment to see, is this the process and the path that you still want to be on? And are there parts of it that you can keep? Do you want to keep going? What is it that you're needing to continue to move towards that vision? That's really important. And to be able to adjust and modify without completely giving up is a really critical piece of this in terms of being flexible and realistic with what you're wanting for yourself.
So my key takeaway is that you don't have to do this by yourself. So there are great resources out there. Coaches are one, and you can also have great resources and mentors and friends and other people in your life who can provide you inspiration, can provide you wisdom. Just know that your journey is not going to be the same as anybody else's. So you can get a lot of really good advice from people, and it might not fit exactly to what you want to do or how you want it to look for you or feel for you. So don't get trapped in the social comparison, like, oh, well, I want to start doing this healthy thing for myself. Oh, but that person's doing it so perfectly. I could never get where they are. So I'm just not even going to try. Or you talk to somebody who has everything together. They look like they're, this person you could compare yourself to that's just like they have it all. Nobody does, but they look like they do. And that can be inspiring. And that also can be a slippery slope of comparing yourself and getting demotivated in an unhelpful way. So be really thoughtful about taking wisdom, taking nuggets and pearls and good tidbits from other people as you're building a goal that feels relevant to you and a goal that you're going to check in with and set continual hypotheses around, small goals along the way to a big goal around, that it's this ongoing conversation that you're having with you and your goals. So just be really thoughtful about what feels healthy to you as you go throughout whatever goal process you want to set up.
And I think my takeaway is the helpfulness of working backwards from your ideal future. And then you're able to define what needs to take place from day one and moving forward so that again it's realistic in terms of time frame and resources, and then you'll have a step-by-step plan to reach your ideal future situation.
So, if this topic resonated with you, please share it with somebody that you care about. Also, please like, subscribe, comment, and you can message us on our YouTube or LinkedIn channels with questions that you'd like us to discuss in future episodes.